time to vote your Thunder players into the 2014 NBA All-Star Game in New Orleans. Cast your vote through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or by using your mobile device. Visit thunder.nba.com for more information, and remember, fans, vote Thunder, vote often. Welcome back to Thunder Insider, as Grant and I are now joined by Matt Pinto, of course, the voice of the Thunder on the radio. Well, we've talked about the offense and the ball movement and all of the things that have happened for this team recently. One of the other things is that head coach Scott Brooks has continued to, I don't want to say tinker with these lineups, but a little bit. He's continued to play all of these guys on the roster, all 13 of them. They talk about building trust continually throughout the season. Seems like they're doing that in multiple ways. Matt, let's start with you. What lineups have impressed you? Because we've seen several.
Well, I love when Reggie Jackson's on the floor with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, because all of a sudden with the attention paid to those two multi-time All-Stars, the middle tends to open wide in that screen and roll. Reggie is so crafty with the dribble, and his confidence is so high right now, he's really making things happen. So I think that's a dynamic threesome for the Thunder. Whomever they put on the front line, Grant, Serge Ibaka, Nick Collison, Kendrick Perkins, whoever that might be, these guys work well together. Reggie Jackson's becoming more adept at knocking down the three, and certainly capable passer and finding open men.
Well, I like when the second unit comes in. It really doesn't make a difference who it's comprised of. I like the fact that how they attack the opponent, whether it's rebounding the basketball or how they play as a unit on the offensive end, moving the ball, setting good screens. But also I love when Collison's in the ball game and they get that two-man game going, rolling along the baseline, whether it's a handoff or it's Jeremy Lamb cutting backdoor and Nick threads the needle on that bounce pass along the baseline and they complete a layup or something like that. That's been really fun to watch when that group's on the floor.
It's been also fun to watch just to see how these young guys handle it. Perry Jones sometimes coming in at the beginning of a second quarter, somebody called on at the end. It seems like these guys are ready to play no matter when their number's called.
Well, and that's a big plus for this team and Scott Brooks, because he can hold everybody on the roster accountable to the principles that he's continuing to teach and preach during practice sessions and shoot-arounds. And Grant, that makes a big difference, as you know, as an ex-player, because if there's not a sense of that within the ranks, a competitiveness behind you, that you know that if a guy comes in and grabs some minutes, he's going to produce, suddenly you're on your game all the time.
The one guy that represents that to the fullest, I think, is Perry Jones, because from night to night he has no idea when he's going to come into the ball game or if he's even going to get into the ball game. But when he comes in, he definitely moves the needle. He's rebounding, he scores around the basket, he's got a nice touch from the three-point line. And he just makes things happen. When I had a chance to talk to him, he said the thing that he focuses on when he comes into the ball game is trying to bring a lot of energy, and he certainly does that.
Another player I would single out is Andre Robertson, because this is a guy that is in the D-League, and all of a sudden is starting a handful of games at Thabo Sefolosha, came in and did a remarkable job defensively, which is his calling card, and rebounding the ball. So he knows in any moment he can be called on, he's got to be ready. And for a rookie, it's unusual the level of professionalism that he's shown so far.
I mean, it really is unbelievable. He got called up from the D-League to start for one of the best teams in the NBA, and not just that, against the Lakers and guys like Kobe Bryant. Grant, how difficult is that for a young player?
The difficult part is recognizing what your calling card is. As Matt mentioned, his calling card is playing solid defense. He knows who he is. There's no mistaking about what he wants to do when he gets on the floor. A lot of young guys have a difficulty doing that early on. You know, what am I going to do to be successful in the NBA? What can I bring night to night that's going to be consistent? Well, Andre, he knows and understands that it's going to be defense with this ball club that will keep him on the floor, and that's what he brings to the ball game every night.
And I've not seen a young player utilize his length to the degree that he does. He understands angles defensively, and he is so long. He utilizes that by crowding players, even in situations that other defenders won't. He's very confident in his abilities that way.
Another guy who seems to be pretty confident with his abilities is Steven Adams, who's improved with each game. And Brooks has also given him some tough challenges. One that sticks out is that Memphis game when he said, go in there against Zach Randolph. I think Steven kind of looked at him like, are you sure? But he has really been impressive so far.
I like what he does, because I've said this all along. Steven, to me, has an appetite for physical play. And when you're playing that any one of the front line positions, you have to have a mentality that every night you suit up, it's going to be a physical contest. You're going to sometimes get elbowed in the chest. You're going to be pushed. You're going to be elbowed. You're going to be knocked down. But you have to somehow have the mentality that, you know what, I want more of that. And Steven certainly does. He wants more of that. And that's what's going to make him, or that's what's going to continue to let him have a tremendous upside in this league.
He may quickly become one of the players that visiting fans
I knew that was coming.
I love to hate, because he's so physical. He gets under the skin of opposing players. That's a real positive thing, because if you can throw another team off its game and as a rookie do that, all of a sudden you've got a mental upper hand, which is really more geared to veterans in this league.
What's even more impressive is when he does get under their skin, Steven never flinches.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like he doesn't know what just went on. Everybody's just like chaos totally around him, and he's the guy that's leaving people in the wake, and he's wondering what happened.
But I really, he grew up playing Australian rules soccer and rugby in his native land. He didn't follow the NBA, so he's not enamored of the legacy of some of these guys he's playing head-to-head against, Grant. It makes a big difference.
It kind of reminds me of that Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Sorry, he doesn't look like him at all. All right.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Well, you could use the remote. You like it, huh? I think it's great, man, just to come out and be able to bless the kids and make their Christmas. It's always good to give back to the community.